From showing a goofy little schoolboy personality with his crush Claire, to the super emotional scenes he pulls off as a father who's seen a lot of loss, here's how Sam Heughan carried the Outlander TV series.
Vic, you may be indifferent to your own welfare, but perhaps you have some concern for this English lady's honor. Let her go!
I think the first scene in the series that really brought Heughan's acting skills to our attention, the one where Claire first sees the scars on Jamie's body. When we first meet Jamie Fraser in Season 1, he's a quiet, troubled man who's loyal to the owners of Castle Leoch. And at this point, Heughan did a great job showing how shy and quiet Jamie was. There's just something about the way Heughan makes his expressions that make him seem like a quirky and goofy little boy. And in the middle of pretty serious situations, especially in the first couple of episodes, he's kind of the only gentle soul we see among pretty violent men. Speaking of gentleness, one of my favorite early moments is in Season 1's Castle Leoch. This is when Claire sees the terrible scars on Jamie's back while she's fixing his arm, and it ends up being a turning point in Jamie and Claire's relationship because it establishes Jamie as someone who may joke around all the time, but he's seen some pretty bad days too, which he hides deep within himself. And it's the way Heughan carries himself in this scene that is just so honest. Heughan really brings Jamie's story about the scars to life in an open way that is hard to forget. When Jamie talks about the Redcoats coming to Lallybroch, you can feel the pain in his eyes. It's not easy to grab the audience's love and care in just the first couple of episodes, but Heughan's gentle touch to Jamie made him an instant favorite in our eyes. That's not the only reason why fans ended up absolutely gushing over him later on in the series, though. I mean, every cute little love scene actually makes us believe that Jamie deeply loves Claire. Take the music performance in Episode 3, for example. Jamie is thrilled to be able to sit next to Claire and explain to her the performance by a traveling bard, even though Jamie is supposed to be the main male lead. And he's supposed to also be that cool hero who saves the day. Heughan manages to bring a very unique boyish likeness to his character. I think one of his most iconic lines is when he calls Claire Sazinoch, but in a playful way, which apparently is supposed to practically be a slur at that point for the English, but Heughan manages to make it seem so flirty. Apart from that, literally in the first season, we see how eager he is to impress his crush Claire and has no idea that Larry is trying to win him over. Then there's also the gunshot wound incident that happened just a bit later in the show. Claire checks on Jamie's healed shoulder in the castle surgery by loosening his cravat. And while this is happening, Sam Heughan's eyes tell so many stories. If there hadn't already been a fire in the office, it probably would have started on its own. Gosh, this moment made him into such a heartthrob in everyone's eyes. And in this category, the moment that takes the lead when it comes to Heughan's boyish charms is the wedding night awkwardness. In the episode where Claire and Jamie get married, even if a scene only lasts a second, Heughan gives it his own style. It gives a full picture of how a young man feels on one of the most important nights of his life. That is, afraid, hopeful, and full of emotion. And it's the little moments, like Jamie's "Are you kidding me?" laugh when Claire tries to stop him from kissing her out of fear and asks about his family. He made fun of himself by rolling his eyes at how long it was taking to take Claire's clothes off. And when he finds out he hasn't done much for Claire, he pouts. Plus, his goofy smile and laugh show how happy he was when they finally consummate their marriage. It's just so pure. I mean, I could actually feel Heughan's nervousness from across the screen. I'm sure you could too. When it comes to showing deeply felt emotions, Heughan takes the prize in the sad category too. I'll never forget the scene where Murtagh dies in Jamie's arms in The Ballad of Roger Mac.
You should have done as I asked. I'd never betray your mother. No matter who asked.
Jamie's bond with Murtagh, his uncle, has always been beautiful to watch. Even when they've been apart, the bond between them has never been broken. And because of this, it's so hard to watch the life slowly drain out of Murtagh's eyes. I mean, it was already bad enough that during the Battle of... When I think about this scene, I immediately see Heughan's face, with his eyes filled with sadness. The way Heughan's expressions hold during this scene literally makes it seem like he's actually losing a loved one. I mean, for a lot of fans, this scene was so well done that they thought Heughan should have won an Emmy for it.
Cup her head in the palm of my hand. ears stuck up just a little. You could see the light through them. The light through her skin as well.
There's even a scene where Jamie himself is kind of about to die, or at least we think so, because he gets bitten by a snake. And let me tell you, sure, they must have used a lot of makeup to make him look like a dying human being. But the way Heughan acted, it literally seemed like he was slowly growing colder and colder by the minute. That's some insane acting right there, folks. Sure, Heughan is incredibly talented when it comes to showing very strong emotions, but have you seen how subtly he shifts into a responsible and caring father over the seasons? I guess the episode that really etched Heughan's image as a father in our hearts was of Lost Things, from season 3. You see, Jamie finds out he will be a dad after Geneva Dunsany, the daughter of the Hellwater estate, uses blackmail to get him to have a one-night stand with her. So Jamie's son William was born out of wedlock, but no one told him that because they didn't want him to have to deal with all the trouble that would come with it. The heartbreaking part is that Jamie could never really be a father to Willie. But he did watch him grow up until they looked so much alike that it was strange. The way Sam Heughan plays this time in Jamie's life is both gentle and beautiful. It's easy to see why he's confused, excited, and overcome. When he has to say goodbye to Willie for good, Heughan's acting makes it all seem real and sad. It was the silence and the sad smile that made us so emotional, even though nothing major had happened. Even later on, Sam's exchanges with Brianna show how far his character has come. Heughan makes Jamie seem like a loving and thoughtful father, like when he remembers to give Brianna's wedding shoe a sixpence, and when he beats up a crook to protect Brianna's image at all costs. When you think about how much Heughan's character develops over the seasons, it's understandable why so many fans still associate Jamie's character with him, even when he goes and explores other business ventures outside of Outlander. Sam Heughan always knows what's going on in business, and from what I can see, his hard work is starting to pay off. Last year, the 42-year-old Scottish actor drank a toast to one of his projects after it was highly praised. In an Instagram post, the actor talked about how the Scotch whiskey he brought to the US in March 2020, Sassenach Spirits, won gold at the 2022 International Spirits Challenge. Fans of Outlander didn't miss a beat when they heard about the win. Many people wrote happy words in the comments part of his Instagram post. There's no doubt a lot of people were also happy because his product is literally called Sassenach Spirits, and Sassenach was the loving nickname he gave to Claire in Outlander. And judging by the number of Outlander fans in the comments, you can see just how popular Heughan has gotten over the years for his role in the show. And that's all for how Sam Heughan carried the Outlander TV series.